I've always wanted to see Zion, and I loved the ability to try 100 miles, but if I couldn't get it, that's okay. I really wanted to go for 50 and then see how I felt. I loved the way it was all set up, and made it accessible for everyone.
This event was set up perfectly for where we're at in our lives. We just welcomed our second child 13 months ago, so not just, but it seems like it's been just. And I'm still nursing, and so this set up where I can do 10 miles, then go and feed, and then come back and do 10 more, and keep doing that routine, it was perfect for where we're at. And it was very helpful for me to be able to still bond with my kids. We work hard, we want to play hard, but we want our kids to be involved with everything we do.
The 100-mile distance is something that I have been dreaming about since I got into ultras about a year ago. And it just seemed like something that was like so big and so exciting. And there's so many reasons why like you can't do that distance. But I just thought like, I'm a mom of 3. I've done tough things in my life, and maybe, what if you can do that distance? And so I started training. I did 50 miles, I did 100K, I did a 24-hour race, and it was really special to cross the finish line of 100 and just, to show everyone, my kids, my friends, everyone in my life, that we truly are limitless.
To see if I can actually do hard things. I know being a mom is already hard enough, but also just being out there is a challenge that I can accomplish everything, no matter what, struggles or challenges along the way. Yeah.
Running a 100-miler is something I've always wanted to do, but it was like on the back burner as a long-term goal because I didn't know if I could do it. And here you came up with a race format where you made it more accessible and possible for anyone to do it. And I came out here and had no idea what to expect and went through some really high moments and really dark moments, but ultimately I stamped it every time and I made it to 100 miles.
Just really to honestly see how far I could go and cover in this amount of time, and really use it as kind of like a foundation to go off of for more running, races and more running opportunities in the future.
Just show our kids you can do hard things and have fun with it.
As long as you're dedicated.
It was just something that I felt like I needed to do. Once I just got into ultra running a year ago, and I did a 30, I did a 40, and then I just I knew I could do 100.
I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I was told I'd never run. So they told me, yeah, you're just not going to be a runner. You just might not be able to do a lot of that kind of stuff. And I believed it at one point. And I met people in my life that were like, maybe you shouldn't believe all those things. Let's just see. And my friend Danielle, who's not here, she would have been here, but she had surgery. She says, you just try hard things and you don't even have to finish. Just try it. Just see what happens. And she tried to, she talked to me years and years, and finally I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. And so with my friends who taught me that anything's possible, and I know that's a cliche, but it's the truth, I wanted to show my kids the same thing. So I shared with my kids what I was doing, and everybody was so shocked and surprised, but my kids have been so proud of me, and seeing that their mom can do stuff. I want them to grow up believing you can do anything. You don't even not finishing just to get out and try is a huge thing that I think people are afraid of. I was really excited to try and see what I can do, and I'm really happy that I was able to do this and show my kids and people with rheumatoid arthritis that you can do it. You just have to try. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the strongest, but you can just be. You have inner strength, and I feel like I have that, and it makes me really happy. So
I wanted to prove to myself and others that just because you're getting older, you can still do new hard things. So I turned 67 this year, and I was trying to find something new that would, I'd have to learn new skills, try something different, and would test me in different ways. So that was really my why, and I was curious about what's on the other side of an Ironman race.
Well, it was
It's been an interesting last 3 years. Everything from being an alcoholic, fixing that for my family, ended up making me feel like a better person. On the heels of that, then I had to have open heart surgery, which was kind of got blindsided with it, and things happened very fast after that. Had a really good surgeon, hooked me up. Went through cardio rehab, started running 5Ks, and then this May, I was getting ready to run the mini in Indy, and I saw your event post on Instagram, and I was like, I'll get to it later. So then I ended up applying for the scholarship, and my family, friends, and students at school really embraced that opportunity, and I was able to receive a scholarship and come here and compete.
I think a 100-mile challenge is really intimidating, but this event really opened the door for exploring this, for really pushing my boundaries. I had previously completed a 50K trail race, and I was just excited about the opportunity to push my limits, to really get out there and see what it would feel like to put that kind of time and mileage on my body. And the idea of having more time to engage in that, the idea of having support from the event made it really possible. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be in a position to really attempt it safely and with the confidence that I have.
I did 70 miles to prove and to show my body that as a larger bodied woman, I can take this body 70 miles. That's why I did it.
Kind of had in the back of my mind, like that I would want to run 100 miles one day, but it's 100 miles is huge.
Why would you want to run 100 miles?
Because it's crazy and it's a challenge, so it's fun to me, just to see what you can accomplish even when it's hard.
I knew I had it in me, and then you guys were such a great community of support that it made it possible. I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. It wasn't just me crossing that finish line, it was all of us crossing that finish line. It was just such a great experience.
Because if you can do 50 miles, you can do 100 miles. We can do hard things.
Because I made the commitment to do it. And I've got a bunch of middle school track kids who complain about running a mile. So I'll say, you guys, come on, a mile? Come out and do the 100.
You know what? It was never a thought to me to stop sooner. Of course, people get injured or they get sick, and there are very, very valid reasons to drop out of a race. But for me, if I can finish what I start, I'm going to finish what I start.
I had so many people cheering for me, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can do hard things. The last 2 miles of the whole race, 98 to 100, I was literally taking my trekking poles and going, I can do hard things. And I proved that to myself when I crossed that finish line.
We actually, our goal was 50, and then this girl decided at mile 30, Dad, I want that belt buckle. Let's just run all 100 miles.
We saw the belt buckle and we just knew that we had to do the full 100.
Yeah, and who am I to stop the inspiration of a teenager?
I didn't stop sooner because I felt so good and I felt strong, and I wanted to go one step further than I thought I could.
I wasn't going to stop until I had to, or where I felt like I had gotten to the point that I had reached what I was looking for, which I did on Luke 5. I sleep deprived, I was almost hallucinating, I was on that edge, and that's where I wanted to push myself to. I wanted that feeling of I could lay down right there on that rock and I wouldn't care that it was a rock, because I've seen trail runners do that. How could they do that? I know now how they can do it, because I seriously thought about it.
You know, because I had people around me doing really great work and really pushing me. That's what it comes down to. I can see myself easily taking a step back maybe a bit earlier if it was just solo. But at every point, last night, this morning, there was always another runner, a coach, asking, hey, do you have room for one more? What are we doing this morning? And that kind of communication and engagement, it just, we get to hold each other accountable for the effort we're putting in this week.
This whole running journey has been about not quitting. And so every time I made the choice to do the 10-mile loop was another notch on my belt about not quitting.
I am stronger than I think, and I'm capable of more than I thought.
Emotionally, there were some points where I realized that I definitely needed this for me. Time for myself, so it was good.
You can do anything if you have the right mindset. Like your mind will give out before your body does, and that goes for anything in life. If you want to do something, you have to set your mind to it. We said we were going to run 100 miles, and we did not give up until we did it.
Drink more caffeine probably and suck it up and go through the night a little bit more.
This was my very first trail race, right? So I had a lot to learn. I learned that I can do really hard things still. And I can still learn new things at my age, right? Which is really great.
I'm just as crazy as everybody thinks I am.
Reaffirmed it, huh?
Reaffirmed it once again. Yep. You can do it if you just put your mind to it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I learned that I could put 80 miles on my legs and body. The power of being there for others, pushing others, showing them what you can do. I love the uphills. So when people see me do the uphills really with strength and push through it, and it helps them push forward, I appreciate that more so than before. The give and take that we all can do with each other and share our effort and share our drive and what that does for others. I think there's just completing this challenge. I think I'll be on really solid grounding on when it comes to facing difficult challenges.
This is hard, but it wasn't as hard as the day we left our daughter in the NICU. Like, that was really hard.
Yeah.
This was still hard, but a whole nother level. Thinking about, like, if you can't control it, what can you do to, like, feel your best during it and not let it bring you down too much?
When I made the choice to change my goal to 100 kilometers, I was very happy with that choice. Also because the environment allowed me to make that choice, because you can do as many loops as you want. So having that comfort to be able to still feel like this is a huge achievement because it's a milestone, leaving this race with the knowledge that I can pivot anytime when I make a decision to conquer a goal is what I'm going to leave with. I'm okay with pivoting.
This is definitely the hardest thing I've ever done. I learned that even when I'm like at my lowest low, because I think I probably had like the hardest day of my life at one point in the race, where it was just really hard. I learned that can be turned around. It's not permanent, like that feeling like you have to stop or you need to give up on something.
I came into this trip thinking that the big win was going to be crossing that finish line for 100 miles. But I now realize that the big win is the people that I met and the community that I have now. And if you have a community, you have everything.
all the friends I made. Oh man, it feels like family. Like we met all these strangers and then we just left with family, like with friends. And I hope that we get to see you guys again because it was such an amazing experience. And today, like, I was so tired, but I couldn't imagine not being up and being there to help everybody else cross the finish line and just like being able to be a small part of their journey too. That was just incredible.
There's so many things I like about this event. First of all, I love a loop format for a long distance, like 100 miles. You can break it up into chunks. You can be on your own journey. When you're going from one point to one point, it can, that feels to me like advanced level ultra marathon because like you have no choice. Like you can't just stop or come back to your things. But in a loop, you come back to your things, to your cabin every time. You can rest. You can. There was a new mom here who was nursing a baby. There were people who, this was I think almost everyone in the field, this was their first 100-mile event. And it just feels like such an accessible and wonderful format to do that. So I love a loop ultra, and especially in such a gorgeous part of the country.
My favorite part of this entire race was actually meeting other runners. Along the way, every lap, I would meet other runners, and I'll ask if it's their first 100-miler. And then, while we do the lap, we share stories and just inspiring stories along the way. And so after that, kind of make me rethink, what, I'm not alone in this journey.
That's so hard because there are a lot of really joyful moments. One of the most beautiful, joyful moments that I shared with Travis and Jess that I ran with is every time we would get to the top of the steepest climb after 2 miles, we would turn our lights off at night and just look up at the stars in the silence and just be in awe that we just came from the bottom of a mountain and had this incredible view that if it weren't for this race, I wouldn't have seen that. And then the other most joyful moment was crossing the finish line and having so many people there cheering us on and just feeling so emotional that we just did that, and we were so supported doing it.
I thought it was always kind of corny, that whole adage of like farther together. Like this was such just proof of that. Just also like the sense of community here and taking that and not, really holding like a lot of value in community, because this whole race and over the last couple of days, like it has become like a little family.
Yeah, so usually I don't like loop races. I've trained from point to point and always tried to stay away from doing the loops, but this race, the way that it was set up, I thought coming in I wasn't going to like that part about it, but it was perfect. It really helped. It gave me small goals, incremental goals throughout the race, and it really was set up good and helped me achieve the 100.
It's the relationships, the relationship with myself, where I was alone a lot on this trail, and I got to really know myself in a whole different way, and realize that you don't need music, or you can just be with yourself, and that's a huge thing. I think it's hard to be with yourself for a long period of time, and I was with myself a lot. And I actually realized I'm really happy with myself, being with myself, and I think that's huge for me. I also learned that this kind of stuff is a huge community, and community for me is big. So yeah, it's a big thing, community, because people feed off of other people's energy. So I love that.
Everything, but mostly the people that I've met and the community that built up as we got closer to the race. And as you know, I took advantage of the coaching, so I did, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was almost like one-on-one coaching with Ashley and you and Alan, and I felt like I knew you before we got here, and that community But really, I started following other people too. There were a lot of Instagrammers, and I try to cross over who was on the sign up list and then try to follow them and learn a little bit more about people before I got here. But it's such a great community.
I appreciate the opportunity. Everybody's been wonderful here. I haven't met somebody that we really haven't liked. I mean, we knew no one when we came here. So it's just been an amazing experience.
It's so hard to just pick one thing. The entire event was amazing because there was the part about the 10-mile loops. So you had the option of doing the loops at the time you wanted to do them. There was no pressure, no clock. The second part that was really enjoyable is the entire camaraderie of all the people. So you're picking up positive vibes everywhere you go. There isn't just a start line positive vibes. There's passing people by, going to lunch with people, sitting at the table randomly at lunch, and you're picking up their vibes. They just finished maybe mile 4. You're about to go on mile 4. So you're picking up that vibe already. And then also, like, a very small part about it is being able to go back to your cabin or wherever you're staying and decompress. Set yourself up for the next loop. That was also really amazing to be able to do, to have that kind of little isolated, safe space, and then to be able to continue and move on.
The most joyful moments, top one was when we would do night miles, we would all turn off our headlamps and our belt lights, and we would just stand there and look at the stars together in awe. And these are like people that I've met through the internet, and we're like just in awe together. That was really joyful. Yeah.
I think getting to know the athletes, like one-on-one, individually, as people outside of running, getting to know their family life, their work life, how they balanced and navigated all of it, and really the mindset that it took for each of them to overcome the challenges here today.
Their story of like you said, their family life and why they decided this race, why they decided this was going to be the one that they attempted their first 100, and to see them do that. I was able to be out there with several of the athletes for their final lap, and they were just like, last time seeing that rock, and just having fun still, but hurting so bad. But like, it's a pain they chose. They could have tapped out at any time, and they're like, my feet hurt, and they just kept driving forward because they can choose this.
Yeah, a lot of them, their body quit before their mind, or the clock ran out, but they were still going mentally, and I think that's what 100 miles comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Continue
Right here. So.
If you've ever wondered how strong and capable you are, and to see what your limits are and what your possibilities are, this is the community that will help you find out what you're able to, and like push your limits and exceed all of your expectations. And you guys have set it up so that you can do it, and anyone can do it. It's amazing.
I highly recommend. One of the best events we've ever done.
When you do a distance like 100 miles or even if you've never run 3 miles, there's pain. You will suffer, and but what I wish people would know is that there is something so beautiful about pushing to the absolute physical limit and then finding the strength within yourself to push beyond that. And that's just something that I hope for everyone to experience in life, because I walk into a room differently once I do something like that. You walk into rooms knowing that you have a power and a strength that you never had before. And so I cried, I suffered, I had a lot of pain, but I walk into a room different now, and I hope people know that.
I think now, after having been able to do 100 miles, I think anyone can do 100 miles. And to the ones who have finished 100 miles with me, I'm just, in shock, that we all did it. You know, all of us, like, I think we have like certain goals. We have like goal A, B, or C, whatever we can do each day. And we did it. And for the ones who did not, even though they did not complete the 100 miles, they still kind of exceeded the goal or even the distance they've done before coming here. And I think that's already a big accomplishment too.
I came here by myself without any family and just friends that I met on the internet, on Instagram. And I didn't know what to expect. I was actually really nervous. I was like, what if I don't have the support I need to do this? And so quickly, over these past couple of days, it became like a family. And we'd come through and we'd hug everybody between loops. And I felt just so supported by every single volunteer, everyone out there running. And it was just the most beautiful community experience that I've ever had running a race.
I would say don't necessarily focus on 100 miles, focus on just the next lap, and however many laps you get by the end of it, like it's almost certain, like a certainty that it's going to be farther than you've ever covered before. So take a lot of pride in that. But yeah, it's an awesome experience, and all you guys are so great. But yeah, it's been cool.
So I think milestone events enabled us to actually do the 100 miles the way it was set up, the way we were pampered. You had the best volunteers ever.
We were like, honestly, we feel so good right now, and I actually think it's because of all like the compression like things that were there, and like the hips and like the
massage therapist.
Like I actually feel so surprisingly good. I thought I was gonna be like crawling today, but I feel great.
There were some bitter moments, like I think both of us felt like we wanted to cry. Our feet were hurting.
We were crying.
It was amazing.
But yeah, it was such a great experience. Very rewarding.
Thank you.
You know, it's just okay to try. It's okay to not go as far as you thought. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be proud. It's okay to be a little selfish.
Don't be afraid to try something big and outrageous, regardless of your age. And even like this, right? I never done a trail race before. I made friends, new community, I learned new skills, I pushed myself in new ways, and I got to spend how many days in Zion? That sunrise and sunset at Zion on that trail was worth the price of admission. You got to see and feel nature in a way that you don't get to do.
I feel accomplished at 50. It's not where, during all our training meetings, I was like, where do you think you want to get before your first break? And I said 60. At that moment, at that time where I was in my training, it's how confident I felt. When I got to 30, I was quickly revisiting that where am I going? So
yeah. You know, doesn't care who you are. If you have the desire to do it, you can do it. Just a little bit of training, a little bit of work, and it pays off.
I think that discomfort and scary goals, they're a part of our lives, and they can be really healthy. They can really help us test our limits physically, mentally, emotionally. And I think that we owe it to ourselves to do that. We owe it to ourselves to push ourselves where we can, when it's healthy, and push ourselves in community, not just alone, but to share that experience with others, because it'll help us have a deeper understanding of ourselves, not just on the trail, but in life. And it'll just position us to show others what we have and inspire them to explore that too.
I think the thing that I'd want to say to somebody who's sitting here right now watching this video and wondering if they should sign up, if they want to change their life after an event that they choose to do, this is the event they should sign up for. If you are considering choosing something that you want to change your life with, this is the event that you want to change your life with. You are going to walk away a different person than you came here with. I think that the people who are searching for something are going to find it here.
It was amazing. So inspiring. So many amazing people out here finishing 100 miles, 50 miles, all kinds of milestones.
And so many people surpassing what they thought they could do. Like 2 people came out expecting, they're like, oh, I want 50 miles. They did 100. Yeah. They did 100. So this format gave them like the confidence to be like, yeah, I can go do another one. I can do another one. And it's so cool to see everybody that was here. It was the furthest they'd ever gone. Every athlete here, they'd never done 100 miles or their 50.
Some had never run a trail race before, which was pretty amazing. This trail was not easy.
It really wasn't. It was jagged. Yeah. It was all over, and this was a legit course, and they crushed it. And it's so fun to see that, and to see the look on their face when they've overcome. You know, they're down in the dust, like they're puking or whatever, and they're able to rally back and come back and run through that. It's pretty inspiring. You guys are freaking rock stars. You did it. You crushed that course. You showed not only like yourself, but everyone here that what they're capable of as well. And you're inspiring so many people, and not just here. People are gonna see that and be like, gosh, they can do it. Why not me? Why not me? And that's what it's about, is inspiring and like doing that for other people too. So.
Ashley said it. They're incredible. You all are incredible people, and we're so grateful for you all.